So, um, this post is really in regards to just something on my heart. Something's been just insanely going on in the world. It ain't just affecting me, my family. It's affecting so many others around us. So many others around us. So many things that keep occurring on and on and on and on and on. It's senseless violence amongst our youth. I can't call it epidemic, but it's epidemic like. And uh, I don't have an answer. I don't see how it can get better. Probably gonna do a lot of repeating myself because this live is, it goes on and on, and got people that just join it. But yeah, it's something that we got that just continuously is affecting us as a people. It's continuously affecting families, friends, uh, friends of friends, co-workers, just everything, man. It just continuously happens. I don't know the resolution because there's so many other things that are playing into it. I mean, think about it. They always spoke about video games. They always spoke about music. They always spoke about movies and TV shows. All that stuff, it's always been there. But there was a key control by the means of our parents and other folks who, um, you know, they input into our life and gave us alternatives and other things that we can do and to see other things. I don't know if the same thing is occurring now. Right now, you have social media, you have all kinds of other things that are playing a part of the raising of our kids, the exposure that our kids are getting, hands, um, the availability of too much. You know what I mean? Kids can get to anything they want to at any time. There's not really many restrictive measures in place for that to occur. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's a thing. It's it's sad. It's unfortunate. If you look at things that's that's going on. Number one, when I say music, okay, you got music that just comes out and say whatever it is, and the smallest of our kids, elementary school kids, with their hands on it, being able to listen to it, desiring to hear it. You know what I mean? I'm not calling out any specific artists. Y'all know the names, but they can say what they want. No limits. The kids want to hear it. Kids as young as 5, 6 years old being able to recite these lyrics. So you've got that going, and then that's on the lady side of rap. On the men's side of rap, use of drugs, alcohol, violence, gang culture, all that stuff. It just continues on. You have that. That's in place. There's no limits on that. So that continuously feeds. Not to say there isn't any other music, because there's other music there. I used to be a hater, like, today's music is this and this and this. And that is true. However, there is other music out there. It's just not being pushed. They don't want to push it. They're like, this don't sell. This doesn't have the appeal. This isn't as sexy. This isn't anything anyone desires. So it doesn't get pushed. But they don't know if it's desired. Just think about it. Afrobeats. Afrobeats came out, and Afrobeats has taken probably the whole country, whole world by storm, because it's something new, something fresh, something creative that we don't typically get. You know what I mean? Um, and it's so crazy to see that we're in a place like this, man. We're in a place that we don't have any control. We don't have any control of what we're doing. Um, and it ain't that we don't have control. It's like we're continuously buying it, so we're continuously supporting these things. We're continuously embarking in nourishing and cultivating this stuff that is not healthy for us. You know what I mean? Think about it. I speak about it all the time, and it's like I speak about food. I speak about all the madness, all the different things. I'm taking a look at what we got here in the chats and stuff. Got to give a shout out here. Got Miss Mocha Bella here. Thank you, Mocha, for the condolence and prayers to the family. Man, bad news. What's up, 757 up in here as well? and Brian in here. But yeah, check it. It's so many things, man. That's just continuously going on. Um, and the crazy part. So what happened to my family? You know what I mean? Young cousin, senselessly killed. I ain't going into the details for respect of the family, but senselessly killed by another young thug, to put that loosely. And My wife told me that the former mayor of the city that he's in, another young black male who's I think in his either low 40s, high 30s, just basically was overcome with emotion as he went on live today as well. He went on live to speak about, he didn't personally know my cousin, but he had met him just days before, and had a very good interaction with them. They had great interaction. They were speaking about what his future was going to be. What he was into, what kind of his thought process. The mayor was able to drop some knowledge on him, so he was really really um, impressed with my cousin, and he was taken aback by the senseless violence because he had just spoke to him, and then to find out that he was gunned down senselessly one night. Just took him to to go do this. Um, Mine is more so. I'm speaking generically because it has not just happened to my family. It happened to many other people that texted me and gave me their condolences and said that they heard of a similar situation that affected their family and friends or coworkers, etc. Same type of situation happened where someone was senselessly killed by, senseless gun violence. Now, I own guns. I mean, yeah, I'm going to protect myself, but that's the word, protect myself. That's if someone comes to harm my family or comes to put any harm to me, it is a defensive action, not an offensive action. See, these kids, they don't know how to use these hands anymore. You know what I mean? There's no more fighting, no more none of that. You know what I mean? It's now shooting. You know what I mean? So we're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot that it continuously is happening. Irresponsible use of guns, the gun control is just bad. You know what I mean? It's bad because they shouldn't have access to these guns, but I'm sure these guns are, um, you know, irresponsibly in their household or on the streets, etc. So it's a lot of different things that's occurring. It's been occurring. It's not new. This has been going on for centuries. You know what I mean? Irresponsible use of guns. It's just that it's affecting our community extremely bad, extremely bad. I'm not one to say, okay, yes, black on black crime, black on black violence, all that type of stuff, because that's just a word. But it is affecting our youth. It's affecting in a lot of different areas, a lot of big cities, a lot of small cities. My cousin was in a small community. You know what I mean? It's a very small town in Mississippi, but it was a lot of hate, and not a better word to use, but definitely a lot of hate for success of someone else. You know what I mean? Jealousy, stealing. I want what you got. You know what I mean? And what makes people want to have that? See, this thing could go on and on and on and continue to go out so much wider, so much further, because it's the lack of things. People think that they need these things. Why do they need these things? What is it about it that makes you want to have these things that aren't yours? Instead of going to work hard to go get these things, you want to take them because you don't see an avenue or a way or a vehicle for you to get these things. That's why I said there's so many layers to this onion. You know what I mean? So many things we have to work on. Now, the backstory of it is the scars, the layers of trauma as a community, as us blacks have. You know what I mean? The community. You know what I mean? The foot has been on our neck, and my counterparts and coworkers and other people of other races who look at this gonna say, "Well, why don't you just go work for it? Why would you have to take it?" It's again another advanced, very deep, layered conversation, because you can say that easily, but the grandparents of the grandparents, that of these people, it's so many things that were tormented and have gone trauma in their lives. Black on black crime, which is, like I said, not a thing. It's just a statement. But the reason why it's occurring in these certain communities is because of the mindset that has been pushed to these people because of their parents and their grandparents. You know, the jealousy, the hate, the things that are occurring in our communities have just been handed down. You know what I mean? Families not even getting along with their own people, their own family, because of something that they've been going through. It's so, like I said, I'm just barely scratching the surface because it's so much stuff. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the things where someone is sexually assaulted by family members. These things happen and they get swept under the rug. So it's so many layers of trauma. So your mother or whoever or father had whatever occurring to them. So therefore there were certain things that were lacking in their lives to impart certain things that you needed to be full. So it's so deep. It's so much stuff that's multi-layered in our distress and the way that we are, that it continuously just happens, and it just keeps getting fed to us, man. Shout out to Rise Up here as well, man. We got so many things that are so deeply embedded into us that the crime, man. I'm not putting, like, again, not putting any type of excuse for the ignorance of the crime that continuously happens to us, but it is happening. So we have to nip this in the bud right there at the source. You know what I mean? That starts with your own household and goes out from there. You know what I mean? You have to raise your kids right so that, you know what I mean, they can interact. And the same thing with every other household. It's a responsibility, but it's not happening. And because it's not happening, we just have a race of kids who are irresponsible out here. And then, so think about it. So now that's what you see with the media is feeding. They're feeding it out here to, the world. So the interaction you have with law enforcement and these kids who they think are bad, who could be a college student who looks like someone else that you pulled over a couple weeks ago. Now you have a stigma that this dude who's dressed the same exact way and looks this way is a criminal, but yet he could be a PhD college student. You know what I mean? But he's treated like a straight thug. There's so many things, man, that are going. So like I said, this is just a generic conversation because I can go so much deep. I can have a whole month worth of layers of conversation on this. But when will it end? When will it stop? When will it hate? When will it backbite? And when will the I want what you got stop? You know what I mean? And that even goes deeper than our communities, because it's the have and the have-nots. You know what I mean? It's the rich and the poor. It's the people who have and the people who don't have. And so it's going to continuously cycle. But are we prepared as people for this? You know what I mean? Are we prepared for what happens because of this? You know what I mean? It's so many layers of this onion that have to be peeled back. So you see me usually on YouTube Shorts where I have 60 seconds to speak about something. I had so much to talk about. I said, like, let me just go ahead and go live. I haven't went live on anything in forever. Kicking It with KC show has, used to be 2 hours plus, you know what I mean, of a conversation. So I kind of put myself into shorts to kind of reach out and do what this world is doing. But I said, it's too much. I have to have something, an avenue, a vehicle for me to express myself. And I decided to do it this way. So I will probably be putting this thing here on YouTube as a full featured video. But the conversation here, man, I'm just nipping the bud, nipping the surface. The conversation must be had. We have to speak to our kids. We have to understand, are they paying attention to what's going on around them? I had that same conversation with my son yesterday, in regards to, that's his cousin who, was gunned down. And the jealousy and the hate that happened in that small town is something that easily can happen here in this big town, because of the fact that it's so, and especially for him, he's out in the public eye. He's out in the world. People see what he has. They know what he has. So he operates with caution. He's not going to make certain moves. You know what I mean? There's certain things he's not going to do because he's very wary of him being in the public eye and just being there. He told me that he was at a store or something the other day, and someone said, "Hey man, I saw you at what you call it." So he was like, "I didn't even notice those people, but they knew I was there." You know what I mean? He's like, that's scary. He said that keeps happening. You know what I mean? So he's out there. He's got a following. You know what I mean? People know, okay, this and that. So I said you had to be careful with his presence and what he puts out to the world. That's what helps feed his social media, because that's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? That's a category of creativeness, is to show your lifestyle. But that has a gift and a curse to it, because there's people who are haters, man, who don't like to see your success. So therefore, he has to act and act. He has to act a certain way. You know what I mean? He has to keep his head on a swivel at all times, and it scares the shit out of me, because I had to have that conversation. Like, bro, please be careful. It brought me to tears having that conversation, because it just hit me at the same time of knowing about the young cousin who, I think it said that he came into some money or something like that from whatever, you know what I mean? And then a week later, gets gunned down. It's so sad. It's so sad. And man, I don't know where this ends. Like I said, I just don't see it getting better unless we do something drastic here. What can be done? I don't know. So I'm leaving that with what can be done. Where are we? What are we going to do? Thanks for kicking it with Kesey. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Also found at the X Squad radio app.